Sorry. Dropped it. Hello, Stonehenge!
Welcome to About Time, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Stephen, and I've been a Doctor Who fan since 2005.
And I'm Ben, and I've never seen the show before.
Now we're watching and discussing every episode of the revived series. And quite frankly, it's about time.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I'm getting there.
Yeah. You've had a bit of a rough
Weekend.
yeah.
Drama.
Yeah. Work related. But because since you don't speak about your job on this podcast, we can't really talk about it.
No.
Anyway, it's still January. January seems to last about 6 months.
Oh my god, yeah. This month has been long.
Yeah, it always is. It's so depressing. Because you get Christmas out of the way and then you've still got about 2 months of winter.
Mm.
And it's just drags. But yeah, any other news, any updates to report?
Had a trapped nerve in my shoulder blade again.
Oh yeah. And I had a trapped nerve in my lower back / upper thigh. What some people might call my bum.
Gluteus Maximus.
Indeed. That sounds like a character in this episode. Yeah, we've been in the wars a bit, haven't we? We're getting old.
Yeah.
But yeah, all is okay.
Yeah, we're plodding on.
Yeah. I think Ben wants to dispense with the small talk for this episode.
No, I don't mind the small talk. I just... Finally
an episode that you liked.
Finally, an episode I've actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that fucking twist.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Okay. And this was one of those occasions where we finished the episode and I turned off iPlayer and Ben was like, what are you doing? He's like, put the next one on, put it on now. And we had a bit of an argument because I said we have to record afterwards because I need to ask you your predictions for the next episode and all that sort of thing. But
Can I just say that my little story I came up with halfway through the episode,
yeah, you had a theory
was
halfway
not
through.
bad.
It was all right. Do you want to tell listeners what that was?
I thought it was a good idea for a story.
Go on then.
So basically, my idea was that the reason why, spoilers, Rory is alive again. Well, not alive, he's plastic. But the reason why he's there is because actually him and Amy fell for a crack in the Roman times.
So you said they were born in the Roman times and they were meant to be in the Roman times.
Fell for a crack, went to the pub, went to the new time.
Modern day. And
then when he fell back through the crack, he went back to his original time.
Yeah. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Rorconius?
Roranicus, she said. Yeah. But yeah, you did not see this twist coming.
I didn't.
I was wondering if you would, and I was really pleased when you didn't. Because now you know that obviously the Pandorica was put there as a trap for the Doctor to put him in. And now you think back to the way he was. Do you remember when he first found it and he was reading all the runes and stuff and he was saying there was a goblin or a trickster or a warrior soaked in the blood of 1 billion galaxies. One day it would just drop out of the sky and tear down your world. And that all applies to the Doctor, from whichever perspective you're thinking of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very clever. It's a good episode.
Who wrote it?
Stephen Moffat. This is where it's all been building.
What? So all the splinters were here to lead him here.
The cracks are because of the explosion of the TARDIS.
But what they're exploding the TARDIS?
What?
All these dragon people.
The people? No, they're trying. So the TARDIS is exploding for some reason, which you don't know yet.
It says silence will fall.
Yeah, the TARDIS is exploding, and that is causing the cracks in time because it's connected to the time vortex.
Yeah,
and that is destroying the universe because basically the cracks, we've seen the cracks, but they're getting bigger and the whole universe is falling into it and being destroyed.
So they just killed themselves,
so
the
people, the Alliance, all those monsters were there. Aliens were there to try and stop the universe being destroyed because they think...
It's the Doctor.
Because it's connected to the TARDIS. They think if they seal the Doctor away, that it can't happen because the TARDIS can't be used.
Moronic move.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, oh, it's still happening.
Yeah, and
the only person who can save us is locked in here, so how are we going to open it?
Yeah. And then it always tickles me how at the very end he says, the universe will be destroyed, and then you see all these stars and galaxies exploding and fading away, and the Earth fades away, and it's like the universe has just ended. And then it says, to be continued. Like, how?
I thought the Earth was the last one that was just floating in.
Well, yeah, but the way it looks to me is that it looks like it fades away, like into blackness.
But why is Amy the one tied to it all?
Because she was his current companion, and they built it around her to lure the Doctor in.
Oh. But the crack was in her wall. They didn't plant that there.
No, I'm guessing that was a coincidence. I don't know.
What's in the crack? Patient Zero was in the crack.
He came through Prisoner Zero came through the crack, but I suppose if she grew up with a crack in her wall, it's sort of her brain
Absorbed into it.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, big episode.
Yeah.
And before we put it on, I said to you, I guarantee in the first 3 seconds, you're going to say, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And you
still got a fucking Scottish accent.
Yes, we're not discussing that again.
I don't like it.
He didn't even have any speaking lines, did he?
Was like, oh!
He was shouting. How can you tell he was shouting in a Scottish accent?
You can shout in Scottishness and you can scout in Britishness.
What was he going? Oh, hi, the new haggis. When he should have been going, tulips, clogs.
Finally found an accent that you can't do.
Prostitutes.
Finally found an accent that you can't do.
I could try it, but I don't want to be offensive. I don't mind offending Scottish people. I'm joking. So I love the way this starts, that we get like a little contribution from all these episodes and characters from the series.
Yeah.
It's like the chain from Vincent to Churchill and Bracewell.
Mm.
And then he rings River Song in the storm cage where she's prisoner. And then she meets Liz 10. It's nice.
Going back through all the people that could help him.
Yeah. And then we get a new character when she goes to that bar to get the vortex manipulator off that blue guy.
Mm.
His name is Dorium, and he's hilarious.
See for 5 seconds.
Yeah, you might see him again. But yeah, the actor is Simon Fisher-Becker, who also played the Hufflepuff Fat Friar in Harry Potter, the Ghost.
He goes, woo!
Yeah, he does. He goes woo, through the floor. But yeah, I love that scene where he's like, a vortex manipulator, fresh off the wrist of a handsome time agent. I said off the wrist.
Is that Jack?
Could be. But Jack's a former time agent, not currently a time agent.
At this time he could have been.
Yeah, time travel.
You don't know in the air.
Yeah. But how has he lost his wrist? How has he lost his hand?
In the duel?
Yeah.
Masturbating too much?
I think it's just a random time agent. But yeah, and she's like, it can disarm micro explosives from up to 50 feet. What kind of micro explosives? The kind I just put in your wine.
And
She's
that's
such a
how
good
she
character.
gets it.
You kept saying throughout this, like, that you would watch a whole series of her.
I would watch a whole series of her on her escapades.
Yeah.
I know this would be very, very controversial and very weird, and if they could afford it, it would be amazing. But like, do you know the Doctor is like sometimes like takes forms of people he knows?
Mm.
I'm only saying this because I know of a Doctor coming up, and I know that person has been in the show twice already.
Mm.
Imagine the Doctor taking form of her.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be River Song. It would be the Doctor played by Alex Kingston.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, but it's not. You like the character though, don't you?
Yeah.
Because River Song does things the Doctor wouldn't do, like using a gun.
She has a lot. She does. Yeah, she's a badass.
Mm. Don't you just love that bit when she's in the Roman tent and she's like telling them what do the barbarians think of you, and then she shoots her gun, like laser gun. She's like, where do I come from?
Disintegrating gun.
Yeah.
Disintegrator. 5,000.
Mm. I love how Amy's favourite school topic is the Romans, because it's invasion of the hot Italians.
She is
A slut.
no.
Even at the age of whatever it was.
We don't slut bag. Slut shame. We don't do that to this one of us.
No.
But we'll say that she's just a thirsty bitch.
She is. I think she'd fit. I think I'd get on well with her.
I love the idea of going back in time and having like gay relations. Like I'd die because it's illegal, but just like, you know what I mean.
Well, not in Roman times.
Oh.
In Roman times, it was quite the dumb thing. So I'm
No, I'm
told.
not going to take that on the podcast.
What?
No.
Okay. You can tell me afterwards. I think you'd like Merlin.
No. I don't do think that's a bad acting.
How do you know it's got bad acting?
Because this is bad acting. Every episode of Doctor Who feels like a GCSE drama production.
What, even in the Tennant days?
Yeah.
Oh.
It just feels like chaotic and a bit weird and a bit like
I think it's
running off and like pretend. It feels like a massive game of pretend.
Yeah, because it's aimed at kids. It's a kids show, family show thing. It's not meant to be like gritty primetime 9 p.m. drama.
It should.
No.
It should do TARDIS After Dark.
Yes.
Don't let Moffat write that.
Oh God, yeah.
It'd be like low cut tops and skimpy cat suits.
That's what it is anyway. That's what Doctor Who is for him.
Skirts and fishnets but then the men are all nerds. Bit like him.
Yeah.
Fantasy based.
Yeah.
He's like
self-insertion.
When he was younger, maybe he was like, my fantasy is be the Doctor. Let's roleplay.
Oh yeah. No, we haven't got there yet, but Peter Capaldi, when I was watching it, when his era was on, I was like, Stephen Moffat has basically just made himself into the Doctor, like an angry, curly-haired Scottish man. Like, yeah. Anyway. So we get this new painting from Vincent van Gogh.
A very crude replication of Vincent van Gogh's style.
Well,
It's very sloppy.
Well, it's quite a tall order to get someone to replicate.
Is it?
Yeah. He's a master, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a master. Yeah. But we have like very good like replicate artists. Artists are quite good. There are people who do counterfeit, Stephen.
Yeah, true, actually, yeah. Well, I thought it looked quite good.
No. Paint was so thick.
All right.
It was like someone had just vomited like ultramarine blue everywhere.
Okay.
And like got some cadmium yellow light and been like, bleh. There we go, that would do.
Right, lovely. Stonehenge.
I swear to God that it opened up to another thing.
What?
I'm pretty sure that Stonehenge was used before.
So you thought, you said, continuity errors, because you're thinking of Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
Series 2. But that was a different standing stone circle.
Yeah, I wonder who he had to talk to say like, all right, I want to stand on this rock.
Oh, to film this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they did use the real Stonehenge, but for quite limited time, and then they used like a replica somewhere else.
There's a replica of Stonehenge?
I believe so.
For filming purposes?
So when they well, I don't know what it's for, but when they were actually at Stonehenge, the real one, they weren't allowed to touch any of the stones or anything. So anytime you see them... I
don't get that. It's stone.
Yeah, but if everyone's touching it, it's going to,
erode.
Yeah, or... Yeah, I don't know.
So my thing is this. How far down underground does Stonehenge go?
In real life?
Yeah.
I don't think they do go underground, do they?
I do.
Do they?
A little bit, yeah.
Those columns go underground?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I am pretty sure...
I thought they were just standing up, right?
The Easter egg heads. Easter
Island.
I'm pretty sure they have bodies.
Possibly. I don't know.
Phone in. If you live on Easter Island, phone in. We want a phone call with you. We want to talk about these Easter egg island.
It's not Easter Egg Island, it's just Easter Island.
No, it's Easter.
No, it's nothing egg. Actually, its proper name is
Mother and Sunday Island?
No. No, it's got an indigenous name. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Why do we call it Easter Egg Island then?
Because that's what people from the Western world who discovered it decided to call it. But there's people who live there and they have another name for it.
Oh, what knobs? Why is the Western world full of knobs?
Because it is.
Why does the Western world just go somewhere and think, we own this now?
Yeah.
It's like, get a fucking grip. People are already there, babes.
I've got to Google this, what it's called now, to put my mind at rest. Rapa Nui.
Where is it?
It is in the Pacific Ocean, the southeasternmost point of the Polynesian Triangle in Oceania.
Oh, Oceania. One of the 7 continents.
Indeed.
Also home to Australia.
Indeed.
And New Zealand.
Indeed. Also, yes, so with River Song, obviously from her point of view, this comes before the Time of Angels episode.
Yeah.
She hasn't done that yet. And then Amy's going to her, yeah, you told us when you climbed out of the Byzantium that you'd see the Doctor again. She's like, shh, spoilers. Maybe I did, but I haven't yet. But I will have. I love it. What? Why are you laughing?
Just you. You're like, I get to use my Alec Kingston impression today.
Any opportunity to whip it out, I will.
That's what she said. When she dies,
What, River?
she doesn't reborn.
River?
Yeah.
She gets stored in a computer.
Yeah, but she doesn't change her face.
No,
She's not a Time Lord.
she's not a Time Lord, no.
What is she?
Well, you know as much as you've seen at the programme.
Human.
Maybe. Maybe not.
A Time Lord agent that went rogue that fell in love with the Doctor.
Maybe.
Who was probably a Time Lord agent that was set a task to get like a bounty hunter, Time Lord bounty hunter or something like that, to get the Doctor, and then she fell in love with the Doctor. And then she became a rogue.
Interesting theories. I'm not saying whether... Oh, here's a good Alex Kingston line. You're good. I'm not saying you're right, but you're very good. That's all I'll say at this point.
I've probably hit some nails and not hit all of them.
Wait and see.
You're good.
Didn't you think when they went underneath Stonehenge for the first time, it looked quite cool? Please, come on, give it some credit. It did look cool.
It looked as if Stephen Moffat rang up David Yates and said, yeah, I've got this episode of Doctor Who that I need to do a film like underneath a ground. Can I use one of your Harry Potter sets? I'll put the cobwebs up. We don't have a great budget for the cobwebs. They'll just look like tatty little things that will just stand up.
How many accents did you just cycle through in the middle of that thing?
And David's like, yeah, we're not going to dress it for you, but we'll definitely, you can use it. Do you need anything else? Yeah, have you got a massive box? I need one with some fancy pattern all around it.
Yeah. I love the Pandorica. It looks cool.
It's a bit generic.
What? Who's Irish? Why are you being Irish?
It's a bit generic. I'm Jumper's blonde.
Oh.
You don't even read much about me anymore.
No, you don't. Anyway, can we talk about the Pandorica? Like, do you not think it's cool? It's like a puzzle box. And then when it lights up and the green light comes out of it.
It looks like, what is it? It's the Leviathan something from Hellraiser.
I don't know what that is.
Basically, it's a puzzle box that opens the doorway to hell.
Oh, okay.
And then these, like, weird, like... They are representations of vices. Pinhead, have you heard of Pinhead?
Heard of, but don't know anything about it.
People who get off on pain, they would turn into these Cenobites.
Oh yeah.
And so you have Pinhead, who has got loads of pins in his head. Then you've got like the princess, whose like scalp has been peeled and then pinned to her shoulders.
Oh my god.
It's a horror film, Stephen.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's my sort of thing.
Yeah, I've watched it. It's all right.
Yeah.
I've only watched 1 and 2.
Okay. I've watched 0, and I don't plan to watch any.
But you watched Insidious?
Yeah, that's about the only horror film I've really watched.
When I was a kid...
Depends how you define horror, but yeah.
When I was a teenager, my friends loved it.
I know, you said.
And I just... See, and Sam loves it. Like he loves like films like Hatchet. There was a film called Hatchet. I remember walking into, because me and his brother shared rooms for ages, and he was 18 before me, obviously, because I'm younger than him. And I remember him watching Hills of Eyes, maybe 1 or 2 or whatever it was, whatever it was. And I remember this man, like, ankle getting grabbed through this tiny hole, and he was pulled through it. And I mean, his leg went one way, his other leg went the other way.
Ow. And
it's just certain things just stay with me. Oh my god, we haven't spoken about Limitless Win.
Oh yeah, that's our new obsession. For anyone who does not know, Limitless Win is a quiz show on ITV that is hosted by Ant and Dec. And
Anthony Partlin.
Declan Donnelly.
And
Ant McPartlin, I think it is, yeah. Anyway, it's basically the gimmick is that it's like the most prize money that's ever been given away on a British quiz show, potentially, because there's no limit to the prize if you keep answering the questions correctly. But it's we've talked about this. The format is very clever because it's very difficult to actually get bang on answers.
Yeah, like if you said if it's one was like
it's all based on numbers.
Yeah, and one of the questions was like, what is the top speed a cow can run at?
Yeah, and you've got to know the exact. If you won the money, you've got to get it exactly right. Yeah.
And it was 26
miles per hour. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good show, and we're kind of obsessed with it at the moment.
Yeah.
And we want to go on it, but I want to go on it, and Ben is a bit like,
I'm not a national TV person.
Ben, you are.
I'm not.
You can wear a mask.
No.
Anyway, so the bit when they realise that Stonehenge has been projecting this signal, and then River's like, so who else is coming? And then they start scanning and listening, and the first thing you hear is Daleks, and you went, oh, for fuck's sake, you got so annoyed because you thought it was going to be a Dalek finale.
I'm a bit over them.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm a bit over all of these.
Because when they appeared first at the end as well, and again, I think you thought it was going to be, the Dalek was inside the Pandorica.
Yeah, which was very smart, the way they worded that and did it.
Yeah, that you think
thought
it's
like they came out.
Yeah.
No, I'm a bit over all of these aliens.
All right. Well, they're all working together at the moment.
Slovene, Rhino people.
Jadoon.
Cybermen who cry.
Cybermen who cry?
Yeah.
When did they cry?
Cybermen have little circles next to their eyeballs, which are
yeah.
tears.
Looks like teardrops, yeah. Also, the Sontarans at the end, when they came in, it's that same Sontaran actor from the Series 4 episode.
Why does it sound like he's Welsh or Scottish?
It doesn't sound Welsh or Scottish to me.
He does.
Not to me.
He does.
But I think he's hilarious because he goes... My favourite bit is when he's got his gun and he goes, "We will save the universe from you!" And like, just that with his gun. It's so funny.
From the Doctor?
Yeah.
You're not doing a very good job because the world is splintering away into dust.
The Pandorica is ready.
Who made it?
They did together, I guess.
Who's the smartest alien out of them all?
Dunno. Don't ask them that. They'd be fighting over who's the smartest. But yeah, then she realises the Cybermen, Sontarans, and she starts listing all these Nestine, Slovene, blah, blah, blah.
But Alex Kingston's inside the box.
The TARDIS.
And it's going like this.
It's exploding. Yeah.
And the Doctor maybe has like some kind of sense, and he's got to go like, he's got to stretch his mind out of his little box, and then he start pulling the TARDIS back together.
How's he going to do that?
With his mental powers.
Oh. Do you think that's what the next episode's going to be?
But the key can grow it. The key can grow the TARDIS back.
The key... Oh, from Father's Day.
Yeah.
But that was different. The TARDIS hadn't been physically destroyed, whereas this one it is being physically destroyed. It's blowing up.
Yeah, but it can bring it back together.
Shall we talk about Rory?
Rory's
return. So this is a good episode because River's back, who you love.
Yeah.
And you were happy to see Rory back.
Yeah. I shouted, "He was flung through time!"
Yeah, you thought he'd been flung through time. But do you know what? Watching this is the first time I've noticed that when River and that commander guy are in the tent, and then he says, "Excuse me," and he has to go over and talk to the soldier, his face is in shadow. It's Rory. The first time I've seen, like, actually looking at his face, you can see his face, like, it's very dark, but his nose particularly, like, really sticks out. I was watching it thinking, oh my God, Ben's going to see that that's Rory. It's so obvious.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was bamboozled. I was confused. I was...
Perplexed.
I
Bemused.
want fun
astonished.
words. Flummoxed.
Yeah. So yeah, he's back, and it's so funny. He's such a funny actor. When he's waiting for the Doctor to realise that he's back and that's a big deal, and he keeps like trying to say something but can't quite get a word in, and his face is just so funny. And then the Doctor comes back and just like pokes him.
He went like this, didn't it?
So yeah, Rory's hand and all the other Roman hands. Did you recognise that?
What?
Because you know they're basically autons. So you remember from the very first episode that we watched?
No.
The shop window dummies, the plastic ones. Yeah. Their hands go psh, and guns come out.
Yeah.
That's what the Romans are.
Like aliens.
They're made of plastic. They're plastic duplicates of humans.
So that aliens are part of the little group.
The Nestine consciousness is part of the alliance. Yeah.
Oh.
So they made all the plastic Romans, including Rory, from the book in Amy's childhood and her
photograph in the book.
Yeah. So that's how Rory is back, because he's been brought into existence through this scenario.
Because he felt so real.
Yeah, and to his head he was real. That's what they said. The doctor said they will believe their own cover story, so they have a genuine existence.
And he was in love with her.
I know.
And
So sad. Oh yeah, it's so sad that he killed her.
But everyone's falling through the cracks.
What do you mean?
If the cracks are getting so big that
if the universe is exploding, yeah.
Yeah, but the doctor said sometimes you'll go to a different planet.
Right.
Through the crack. Sometimes you'll be wiped, sometimes you'll go to different places.
Yeah, but I think this is different because the very fabric of the universe is just disintegrating, isn't it? And yeah, the doctor said to Amy, doesn't it bother you that your life doesn't make any sense? Your house is too big, has too many empty rooms.
I don't get... What?
He said the reason he took her was because he was curious about her house because it was too big, had too many empty rooms. Remember when he first met her, she was in this house on her own, a little girl.
Yeah.
She said she was living with Aunt Sharon, but she wasn't there at that point.
Yeah.
So...
Should we go dive into that a bit more?
Maybe.
That Amy's not supposed to be alive. Amy's not real.
Just wait and see.
Amy's a plastic dummy as well.
She's not a plastic dummy, but she has grown up with one of the cracks in her wall. So... And yeah, the Cyberman arm, and then also the head, and then the body, and it gets put together. Love it.
It was a bit like The Mask.
Yeah?
Well, have you seen The Mask with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Puts it on, and he transforms. That's what would happen to her. She puts it on, and she's like, what?
Yeah. Well, I think it's hilarious. I don't know if it's intentionally hilarious, but you know when it opens and the skull drops out, and then it just starts snapping like Jaws.
Yeah.
Like, ching, ching, ching at her. I think that's hilarious. Like it's going to bite her face off.
Like a piranha plant.
Yeah. It's hilarious. But yeah, that is a cool shot as well when the sort of armless, headless Cyberman body walks around the corner and picks up its head. I think that's quite cool.
And then they use a sword.
Yeah.
Right through the gizzard.
I misremembered that because I was waiting for the Cyberman to start to pick up a sword and start wielding the sword. I swear there was a bit like that in it, but I must have misremembered that.
I think you misremembered.
Yeah. I also chuckled to myself at this because River, she phones up the doctor and she says, "You're surrounded. Have you got a plan?" And in my head, I just thought of that Donald Trump meme where he says, "I have concepts of a plan."
I don't want to talk about him.
No, I don't talk about him. The big speech, the Pandorica speech.
Yeah.
That's a huge moment. So,
yeah.
That's a very famous...
Yeah, but it's totally washed away now.
Yeah, because he was an idiot. He got it wrong. He got it all completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the way he acts it as well. Like it's like a defining moment for the 11th Doctor, I feel.
Yeah. I also think when he's in the box and he's like, and his voice breaks when he says, "Listen to me."
Yeah.
Like,
it's good.
It does show that he is very good.
He is good, yeah. But what I love about that speech is it's so grand and full of himself. But it starts off with him fumbling and dropping the microphone and being like, "Oh, dropped it." And everything. It just sums him up, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, he finished it and he was like, "Yeah, let somebody else try first." And then you said, "What a fucking ego."
He does have a fucking ego.
He does.
It's huge.
And
it's so big, I'm surprised it can fit in the Pandorica.
Mm.
His head is wide.
Surprised his head made it through the opening, yeah. Yeah, it's a great moment, the speech and the music. It's this huge, epic, orchestrated version of I Am the Doctor, which is Matt Smith's theme. Slow, brass, dun, 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 dun. It's so good.
Dun, 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 dee, dun, dee, dun, 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 dee, dun, dun, dee, dun, dee, dun, 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 dee, dun, dun, dee, dun, dee, dun, 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 dee, dun, dee, dun, dee, dun.
Any listeners, if you haven't seen it, there is a clip somewhere, I think on YouTube, of Sylvester McCoy at a convention where somebody handed him a transcript of the Pandorica speech and got him to read it as the Seventh Doctor. It's worth a watch. It's quite fun.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I'm not asking you to watch it. I'm not asking you to watch it. So yeah, it all kind of roller coasters towards the end. And yeah, the moment when they twisted and said that the Pandorica was ready for the Doctor. Ready for you? you literally went, now that is a twist.
Yes, it was a very good twist.
I was so pleased. Because all through the episode, you were like, oh, I wonder what it's going to be. I wonder if they're relaunching a classic Alien or something like that. And then I was worried that when it was nothing, it was empty inside, basically. I thought you might be disappointed. But the fact that it turns out that it's a trap for the Doctor is cool.
I think it'd been cool if the cat nuns came out.
And said what?
We've been expecting you.
Oh. Yeah, Rory kills Amy, the universe ends.
Amy is falling apart.
And then,
But I actually think maybe she is the saviour of it all. 'Cause now she's dead, she heals them all. Because she's the one who was a part of the cracks. And now she's dead. 'Cause the cracks were feeding off Amy. Amy's life, Amy's feelings, Amy's emotions. They were feeding off Amy, and now she's dead. Everything falls apart. Everything falls apart. Because Amy Pond is dead.
was there a hottie of the week?
No.
No?
No.
I quite liked the...
Sontaran?
No, you know
When a Sontaran orgasms. Sonta! Ah!
For fuck's sake. I don't think they have sex, by the way, because they're clone people.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Potatoes.
Yeah. What was I say? Yeah, I quite like the soldier who first greets them, and he says, Cleopatra will see you now. And he's got lipstick smeared on him. He's quite cute. So yeah, the universe ends, and it says to be continued.
Yeah.
Where, if you were the writer, where would you go from here? How would you start the next episode?
Inside the box. The box is floating through darkness.
Oh, the box that survives.
Yeah.
How does the box survive?
It's protected.
By?
Because they made something that he can't control, that it can't be pulled through time. It is like locked in. It's like time locked. And like maybe it's quite cool. Like if you think time locked, maybe the time locks, they are the only thing that exist. And so like Gallifrey is over here. That is like it because it's locked. It can't be burnt. It can't be destroyed. They're over there. This is over here, and the box is over here.
Yeah, and they get drawn together.
Maybe or something like that. Or fixed points in time can't be destroyed.
Maybe. You'll have to see next week. The next episode is called The Big Bang.
Oh no.
So, yeah, wait and see.
It's where all those points come together and they go...
Yeah. So it was hilarious. You won't remember this, but on the last episode, I told you that we were going to be watching the Pandorica Opens. And I said, what do you think it's going to be? And you said something about a star system. And then you said, oh, it's the Big Bang. It's the Big Bang. And I was like, oh, you're connecting Pandorica Opens to Big Bang, which is the name of the next 2 episodes. It was funny. You and your predictions. How many stars do you give this episode?
4.
4?
4.
That is... What is that one?
Squibbly Dibbly?
It's been so long since... Yes, it is Squibbly Dibbly. Well done. It's been so long since you've given anything that high that I've forgotten what it was.
Squibbly Dibbly!
So you give this 4 stars.
Yeah.
I give it 5. I call it top notch. This is a very good episode for me.
Top notch.
I enjoy it a lot.
I find 2-parters hard because I feel like I'd rather do the whole story. Because like I find setups. I like
but
reward.
sometimes 2-parters are like 2 halves of the same story, and sometimes they are more individual.
Oh, there was one which was awful, wasn't it?
What was
this
that?
series. Oh, it was a 2-part of that. I enjoyed the first part, and then they went off to Wales.
Oh, Time of Angels and then Flesh and Stone. So we'll see what you make of the finale next week. Before we finish, I wanted to read out a lovely email that we got.
Can I read it out? Oh no, you're the official reader.
I am the official.
I'm the official opener.
You're the official opener. I'm the official reader. So this email comes from Tabitha.
I wonder if they get called tabs.
Well, we can ask them maybe. We'll keep tabs on that.
I don't think they appreciate you making fun out of their name.
Anywho, This is the email. It says, Dear Stephen and Ben, I discovered your podcast a month ago and I can't stop listening. I've been a fan of Doctor Who since 2008 and the nostalgia the show gives me will forever bring me much comfort. I love the dynamic between a long-time fan and a newbie. I find myself bursting out laughing multiple times. You're both so hilarious. I also love when you discuss the music and characters' themes, as they also have so much feeling and memories too. I just finished listening to The Forest of the Dead and I don't want season 4 to end. Anywho, thanks so much for all the effort you both put in, making and setting aside time to record. Thank you for making my commute to college enjoyable. I love the podcast. Thank you, Tabitha.
Tabs.
Ben, you can't shorten someone's name without their permission.
I know.
They might hate
But people
me.
shorten my name without permission.
So what?
Ben?
No, you introduce yourself as Ben.
No, I don't. Not to people on the phone.
Oh.
If people ring me up, they go, is that Ben blah, blah, blah?
Mm.
I'm like, yes, it is Benjamin blah, blah, blah. My surname is not blah, blah, blah.
No. Yeah, so that was a lovely email, wasn't it?
It was. Thank you for taking the time to message us, and I hope college is going well.
Yeah. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, please do, because we love hearing from you. I think it helps Ben remember that there are people who are really enjoying what we're doing and listening to it. Is that right?
Yeah, nice.
Because apart from anything else, Ben's not on any of the social media that we use for the podcast. So I engage with listeners quite a lot via that, but you don't get any contact with listeners apart from when I read out a message to you.
No.
So it's time for
Everyone's favourite song.
1, 2, 3, 4. Patreon, 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 shout outs. Patreon, 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 shout outs. Once again, we have another new patron.
Thank you for your support.
Our new patron is Lucy. What's funny?
And our new patron is Lucy.
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 Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Lucy.
I don't talk like that.
I don't talk like that.
Our new patron is Lucy.
New patron is Lucy. Thank you, Lucy, for your support for the podcast.
You join the wonderful ranks of Louisa, Philip, Northerly,
Jason, Tom, Louis, Michael, Verna, Heather, Billy, Caleb, Monica, Amber, Jess, Kaylee, Jay, Owen, Natalie, Imogen, Sarah, Aaron, Jake, Janie, Elijah, Scott, Tony, Nat, Leah, and Lewis.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your support.
If you'd like to join that wonderful alliance, you know where you can do that. Follow the links in the show notes. We will be back next week for the Big Bang. Until that time,
stay cool, stay safe,
stay fantastic.